And there is a difference between submission and obedience. A lot of times people struggle to understand the difference. Some of you are thinking, wait a minute, isn't that a contradictory? There's a difference between submission and obedience, and I want you to know there is a difference. If you've ever read the book Undercover, John Bevere's book, he really explains it well of the difference between submission and obedience. Submission has everything to do with your heart towards a leader, towards that manager, towards that teacher, that coach, that person who's over you. It could even be a political leader. It could be the chief of police. It could be a police officer. It could be the mayor. It could be somebody that you are submitting to. And submission has everything to do with your heart towards that leader. Obedience has everything to do with action. The Bible teaches conditional obedience, but it teaches unconditional submission. Why should I submit to authority? The Bible tells us, number one, to honor God. First and foremost, submit yourselves for the Lord's sake. Submit yourself to leadership for the Lord's sake, to honor God. To every human authority, whether to the emperor as the supreme authority or to governors. So the first reason we see that God says that we're to submit to authority is for God's sake. It's to honor God. Does this mean that we don't recognize when somebody's wrong? Well, does submission mean that I just have to do whatever somebody tells me to do? Not necessarily. Submission is not obedience. We do recognize when wrong is done in a leader. But the manner in which we respond to that is very important. How we respond to a leader. Do we mock them? Do we belittle a leader? Do we disrespect them or even encourage rebellion in others? This is what God says is submission does not do those things. If we have done that, then we have dishonored God. So the Bible tells us to submit for God's sake, to honor Him. Do you know we honor God with everything that we do? We honor Him with our time, the way we invest our time. Time is precious. It is God's gift to us, and what we do with that time is our gift back to Him. We also honor God with talent. We honor God with our treasure. We honor God with our body. Do you know that you honor God by giving Him your body? We are the temple of the Holy Spirit. We learned last Sunday that we honor God with our heart. Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. But notice that Peter said we also honor God in submission. We submit to delegated authority. And when we do, we are doing this for the Lord's sake.